Hello everybody and welcome to a new live mixing series. I'm your host Adam Steele as always, and I'm going to turn on a light here. There we go, just because the sun is starting to set. Hope you're all well. This is the start of a new pop punk streaming series where I mix an album by a band called Maisetto. Now, just some history. This is an album that I have already mixed, but not in a long time. I mixed this throughout recorded, produced, and mixed this over 2013. And it's been a long time, and I think I can do a much better job, and I can break everything down for you now as we go. Got much better amps than we had, and I'll talk about that as we go. I've got a much nicer system, so I'm not struggling to mix. I've got tools and more experience that should help. So yeah, hope you're all well. Hi Al in chat. Hi everybody. Welcome. Come in. So we're on glorious 1440p as of today, and this is one of the songs from the album by Maisetto. I'm gonna just make a new track and drag in, if I can find it, I'm gonna hit save, insert one of the original mixes of this, so you can get an idea. If it's in there, there should be a mix somewhere. Hope there is. Might not be of this track, actually. That's weird. I've only just got the files for this, by the way, which I've had sat on a hard drive for years. Oh, that song's got 6 different mixes in there. That song's probably got, a couple of mixes in. Maybe I've just picked the wrong song in terms of having a mix I can show you. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Huh. So there's loads of stuff in here. I'll play you a different song just to give you an idea of the album anyway. Question in chat: do I think Reaper's as good and capable as Fruity Loops? Because it's got Fruity Loops / Ableton for making EDM beats. Capable? Of course it's capable. It's not geared towards it. It can be done. FL and Ableton are designed with that specifically in mind. So it depends. Reaper is a great all-rounder. I find that FL and Ableton are specifically for that. And so you may as well use the thing that's specifically for that. This is a song that has at least 19 mixes. So let's listen to this. This is one of the other songs off the album, Don't You Lie. This was the first single, and I'm just going to play you this to give you an idea of how the album sounded at the time. Oh, no, soloed.
Don't you know that nothing comes between us? Will you follow me right through to the point where you can't chew anything you say? Don't you always lie? Don't you always think? Can you be someone tonight? Can you take my to the point where we
Okay, and just the end bit. Oh, behave. Yeah, okay, so not a bad mix, but that's where we got to at the end of 2013. Being critical of myself, the drum kit, I can't hear anything other than kick and snare. The guitars, I can't make them out. There's loads of vocal, but not a lot else. I listened to the final mix, which is on Spotify in my car driving today, and there was way too much S. I did not mix this on 650s. I mixed this on... I think I just got my Adam A7Xs at the time. So yeah, it sounds good, but with a critical ear, it sounds terrible. So the aims of the stream will be to break down what I did, start again, make it better, and just see what we have. Some of the songs we have original DIs for the guitars, some we do not. So we'll be working differently. We've got lots of vocals to work with. There's lots of timing issues on this album. If you listen closely, there's lots of stuff that is not tight. And I'm going to be making a much bigger point of going through and editing and cleaning things up. As you can see in the middle of the screen here, the DIs for this song and most of the songs on this album are largely untouched. Which I think we were going for a feel thing at the time, but kind of partly an experience and partly time limits. I didn't go through and really nail things on, and now with the experience I have, there are some glaring issues which, when I fix them, won't sound that different, but they should feel much better. And that's what a really good mix now says to me. So the 650s, oh god, I don't know how long I've had these 650s, but I've had these a long time. But yeah, it seems like Twitch doesn't like 1440p. Ah well. Will I make any tutorial on mixing and recording guitar and MIDI together like Jason Richardson and Polyphia? No, that's not really a thing. That's just you want a tutorial on frequency and spaces. There is no correct way to do that. What do I think about Virtual Mix Rack from Slate? Great, use it all the time. That's like saying, how do you feel about oxygen? It's just there. I just kind of use it. If I didn't use it, then I wouldn't do nearly as well. Now, behind me, I have a 1978 Marshall JMP, which is essentially the very, very first JCM 800 before they changed the name. Literally, the circuit diagram is the same. It is the original JCM 800. And below that, I have my Mesa. Let's just make the screen bigger so you can see them. I have my Mesa dual rectifier Road King, and I spent some time before the stream making sure everything worked, and I'll talk you through the top row, which is all in use as well, at different times, because that's part of what I'm going to be doing with the reamping. On the right is the Signal Art reamp box, which is amazing, which then goes into 3 different drives. They're not all on at the same time, they're just there so I don't have to keep switching pedals out. I've got the Earthquaker Plumes, I've got that Mosky Silver Horse, which is a clone, and I've got the Jupiter Effects Jive. Then there's the power supply, and at the end there, I've got the 2 Notes Captor 8, taking the load from whichever amp we're using at the time, which is feeding into the Cab M. So let's see what we've got now. Let's move back. And I know I'm dancing around, but a lot of today's stream is going to be just setup and showing you what we had and what we're going to change it to. If you look at the plugins right in the middle, there's a lot of red. Red means that I don't have those plugins anymore. and I'll talk you through things as we go. Chris, has the 5150 been reskinned? Yes, the 5150 is now wine tourist color. When I went down to see Zilla in Cornwall at their new factory, I took that with me. We did a video with it, and then they reskinned it for me, and it's now in wine tourist. Oh yes. There's also the Rev, but I'm gonna try and keep this particular album a bit old school, just because I like it. So. That was a different song to this. This is Savior. Oh, and this is a lot of noise.
You think we've...
There's a lot of muffliness going on here. I think that's part of why I didn't have a particularly loud guitar in the mix, because I didn't go for present tones. Not overly bright, just they weren't present enough. All the guitars on the album, I used an SM7B and some Chinese ribbon of some kind. Why did I do them at 88.2 kilohertz? That's just weird. On the plus side, one thing I did do, that's not actually going out of anywhere, is I put a specific DI box in between the head we were using at the time and the cabinet. That was a Behringer, I know, but the GI 100, which if you have a speaker connected, you can use it as a DI to capture the raw head sound. So if I, where are you, Kyle? Right. If I solo this and make sure it's coming out the master, Alt and click, new keyboard. I keep. That sounds pretty awful, but that's how a rasping, grating Black Star Series 1 100 6L6 sounds on absolute full blast. And as rough as that sounds, if I put a decent impulse response on there just for a minute, let's use reverb, where are you? And no dry. Add in one of my impulse responses. I'll just do this off screen just in case any of these aren't. Oh no, my Lancaster ones are now on sale, so I can use those. Zilla vertical traditional 412 V30. This is a 44.1K. Let's use the 57 Fredman and so that's what the Black Star Series 1 sounds like, which isn't unreasonable. It's not amazing, but it's not great. So we've got that. The drums, what we did for this album is, if you look, it's drum MIDI. However, this is not programmed. This is a real drummer, as you can probably tell from the fact that the velocities are all over the show. And the timing is very human. We got Brad to play on an Alesis and Roland hybrid physical drum kit that was set up in like full size, and we ran that live to Superior Drummer. I think we had something like a 2 millisecond round trip latency, and it sounded pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is, just for now, I'm going to add in Superior Drummer 3 because I don't have Superior 2 anymore. Now I've upgraded to Superior 3. And we'll get some drums going here. Oh, authorize online. Right, 1 minute. That'll be because I changed the motherboard in here very recently. So that's a small pain. If anyone's got any questions, now's a good time whilst I do this thing. Oh, tune track, not tune trackle. Tune trackle. Let's also check. Where are you? Or is it under this passwords? Honestly, there it is. Email is that, and password is that. Login, continue. Too many active authorizations because I took the motherboard out and it didn't take out the authorizations. No, I don't want to start the product manager. Or do I? Where's show details, authorizations? Right, studio HPS, home edit, remove. Try again. There we go. Oh, it's gonna do this for all of them, is it? Oh, brilliant. Won't be a minute, everybody. I'll be right with you, folks, said Jack Black. Are we reamping today, our VST amps? Reamping, the real ones, which is why I took the time to describe the said amps behind me. Oh, yeah, I've got the Bob Rock Foundry. That might be the right kit for this band, actually, because the sound we were going for originally on the album was big as possible. So let's go for the Rock Foundry. Just log that in off the screen, and that's now on the screen. There we go. Oh, that kick drum. Oh, that's amazing. Right, let's see what we get on drums. Yeah, that's the snare. Cool. I might just remove that tom. There we go. Yeah, let's no that's a great sounding kit. I think that was it. The what have I got? Ugh. That's horrible. That could be useful. And that's useless. Alright, cool. That's a great sounding snare. Let's try the Black Beauty. Nah. Nah. Oh, Jesus. Awesome. The other thing that is here, which actually I'm going to quickly try and investigate a little bit. If I go into the original Reaper file, one of the backups, not from 2021, an old one. If there is an old one. No, there isn't an old one, so I'll go for one from a different song, one that I've not opened yet. And I will open it in Notepad, because that's something you can do. Where's open with? Open with, because unlike every other company's files, yeah. Oh. Reaper 4.62. I think folders were working properly by that point. Oh, that's Maisetto backing. Ah. But yeah, I hadn't quite switched to using purely folders by that point. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm setting myself up. I'm going to take off, that's Waves J37, that can go. And that's a Waves Pultec, that can go too. Oh wow, that is cool, but far too loud. Let's take the overall output down by 10 dB. Alright, 6 dB. That's a nice snare, but I prefer the bell brass. Let's try the Dunit Titanium. Nope. Ooh. That one. Yeah, the Tama bell brass. Tama bell brass is where it's at. Doobie-doop, doop, doobie-doop. So what I want to do, move that out the way, and I've already got everything arranged. Where's my snare channel? Did I just not have a snare channel? What? Oh right, so I was sending MIDI out to originally a copy of Contact with an old version of Slate drums. That was for secondary snare, right? Yeah, hello everybody, welcome, come on in. So I'm gonna need to completely just redo all the routing for this, because this is just set up horribly. Right, so I've got my drums, which are currently going out of nowhere, and I need to click on the plugin in the effects window and go, oh, options, build multi-channel routing. And that will... Oh. Don't need any of that, thank you. And the bass sounds half decent because it's got half the plugins still on it. So let's go. Let's go to the mixer in here, because this is completely just vanilla, as it were. So I'm going to send the snare to its own channel, hi-hats, then rack toms, then floor toms, then the ride, then the overheads, where we get all the overheads going together, then we get all the ambience together, because nobody got time for that. Oh. Ambience from the piano. Don't think I want ambience from the piano, but I'm gonna try the talkback at least out of 17 and 18 and just turn that on. That's gonna load up. I'm going to leave the LA2I off as well. Al says, if you finish this song before you receive your Slate headphones, will you recheck with Slate when you get them? Yes, absolutely. These were my trusty go-tos for a long time, but I can still do a lot of what I call the busy work with the wrong headphones, monitors, whatever you've got that is not your prime listening environment. You can still do loads of stuff like this, like routing the drums, like setting up for the right signal chain if you know. Also, I have with me today a set of Austrian Audio Hi-X 55s, which I can use when I'm checking the guitar tones. They sound very different to these, very mid-forward, which means that I can check the kind of the upper mid-range character of the amps very clearly, but the low end not so much. So oh, that's the talkback. Beautiful.
You think we're friends? Guess again, I'll be down.
Cool. This is sounding pretty good. Right, so I'm going to not do too much to the drums yet. I'm going to work backwards. What do I want to do to the drums? I want to use Decapitator on the drum bus and just add in some grit right from the start. And after 1718, these drums aren't doing anything, so we can delete them. And let's name them. Kick, snare, hats, rack toms, floor toms. I'm going to move the hats over. So that was the ride. That was the overheads and room and talk back. That's the next thing for me to do. This is the kick, snare, and rack tom mics. These are far too dry for my liking. I'm gonna take a little sub out the kick, just a bit. Okay, so how do I select them all? Gotta select them all. So what I want to do is have all the bleed, but about 10 decibels down. Because that just gives me the realism I'm after, so I don't get drums in space, but I don't get so much ringing that it's just an uncontrollable mess. Let's just solely kick now. Yeah, so I'm just gonna drag them down a bit, because then that's like what would have happened if I had a nice kind of drum tunnel. You would still have got some bleed. Dragon Song Sound Design, hello. You build your pedals, good sir. So yeah, so same with this. In a studio, I tend to use things like a crash guard to just shield the snare from bleed. So we still get some like that. There we go. So magically reducing the kick into the floor tom. Connor Wilson, yeah, thank you. Thank you for the heads up. It's appreciated. Right, so let's listen to the ride mic. Because by adding bleed into all my cymbal channels, that's where I start to get the real niceness of the big kit. Currently, there's nothing going on bleed-wise. It's too perfect. That's what I want. It's not very loud, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, there we go. Hats are too perfect. I want snare in my hats. Sounds weird, but in the context of the whole kit, it will open it up. And let's listen to those ambients. Let's make that the far ones. Yep, that sounds really good to me. So, now to work backwards with... Well, let's just listen to the kit as it is now. Now, a lot of the problems are coming from that talkback, which I will massage heavily. So let's start with the room, and we'll use what somebody was asking about, which is mix rack. If it ever loads. There we go. Don't need all of that. Come on. Right, so the ambient mics. First thing I want is to massage it with an EQ a little bit. Firstly, bye super lows. Don't need you. And there we go. There was some pillowy kind of low mid stuff that I could hear. And that's about it for that. And then I can use the monster. And now I can hear even more pillowiness, which I'm going to use another EQ. That's powerful. Right, next is the overheads, which I'm going to do something similar with, but the first thing we're going to do with these... I need to reset this strip. Let's just... there we go. Update with current strip. Nothing. There we go, so it doesn't... Because it's all a new install here, so I'm just getting all the usual... what I want to do is drive this a little bit. So... Gonna get my New York on. And then I'm gonna use the 2A on the overheads because I can. Nice. Now for a modern rock mix, that's probably got too much kind of low mid in there. So I'm going to use this EQ and see if I can find that in the cymbals. So far, I think that's sounding pretty decent. So let's add in the kick now. Did I install the Infinistrip? Yes, I did. Let's go with Infinistrip on this one, just to be different, and see what we can do to the kick to make it really hit. Nice, and with no EQ, that is just hitting me right in the face. Love it. Let's bring in the hats and the ride now to make sure they're right. Not getting much actual ride out of the ride. Let's check that that's the right, it's the right one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah. Okay. Let's get more ride in the ride mic. Cool, so let's just mute the toms from... Oh no, let's not mute the toms for a minute. Let's work on the snare. Because I've done nothing to that snare, that's just there. I'm going to go with Infinistrip again. There we go. That is sounding massive, and there's not even any reverb on that snare yet. I'm just going to let the makeup come in a bit more. That is sounding magnifique. Now let's work on the bass a little bit. Looks like we originally used TSE's BOD, which is their Sans amp, into Amplitude 3. Oh, bless. Let's get rid of all that and let's start on the bass. Oh. Looks like we recorded that in a bit too loud. Well, what's done is done. Let's just turn it down. What's the big differences between PSP and Virtual Mix Rack? I do tend to find, hello, the Virtual Mix Rack is a bit cleaner, a bit more pristine. Infinistrip from PSP, they don't mind gritting and grinding things up sooner. And quite often with super clean tracks recorded, that's what I want. So, I never did work on the toms, but I can come back to them. We're talking about bass now, so I've just got Amplitude 5, and in terms of bass, it's got good sounds. So it does take about a week to open up though. So there it is. Before I even hit play, let's go straight to the Amplitude SVX collection and see how the V4B sounds. Yeah, it's okay. I think if there's a Sans amp pedal to go in front of it, yeah, Sans amp pedal right there, that'll do it. Yeah, it's been a while. It has been a while since we've seen Amplitude, but honestly, Amplitude 5 has done quite well. Sounds reasonable, which for me is, that's a big thing. Wait, is bass inside of the drum group? What's inside the drum group? Yeah, everything's inside the drum group. That's not right. There we go. Everything was inside the drum group. That was weird. No wonder it sounded so driven going through Decapitator. Has my Sans amp arrived? It has not. I need to chase FedEx. They're being useless. There we go. So that's a good sounding bass amp. So what I will do now is I'll EQ that. And I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Mix Rack, because Mix Rack now has one of the best LA2As, which is one of the best bass compressors that you can get. So I'm going to go with an EQ that I know, because a good bass amp does still sound quite low mid focused, and I want a bit less of that. There we go. Well, that will keep the bass absolutely pinned in place. Let's try that with the drums. That sounds good. And the reason that I put that lift EQ after the compressor is because I'm kind of lifting up the super low end there a little bit. I didn't want that to go and end up squishing the compressor more. No need for it. Would you say this is like rebaking the same cake with better ingredients, or is it different recipe? Yeah, it is kind of like rebaking the same cake in a lot of ways, actually. That's a good way to put it. Well done. So yeah. Now we'll head to the guitars, and all of these are gonna go. Originally we recorded these. Ooh. What delay did I use there? Oh, it's H delay. Good old H delay. Solid. But no. And originally I had Nomad Factory's echoes on there as well, but that's gone. So to keep things simple in terms of the guitars, yeah, funnily enough, you say nice tone and articulate on the bass. Listen to how distorted this is out of context. And then suddenly in context with the drums. Yeah. And when we dive through the guitars now, so what I'm going to do is just delete all there's a compressor, 2 EQs on the guitars. We don't want any of that. What I'm going to do is just get rid of all of this. Change that back to trim. And all these guitars. All the way up to there, and the guitar group send, delete. Yes, thank you, goodbye. So where's my guitar group now? Nothing in it. Da da da. But I'll make sure that it's coming out of the master output and not out of anywhere else. And we'll get these original DI tracks, which are down here. There's a little tester from me making sure everything worked before the stream, which actually took me an hour because there were certain weird things happening. And we'll reamp these now. Makes his own theme music. There we go. So let's get more lights on. There was an extra folder called Maisetto backing. Oh, yes, thank you. No, I didn't need that. That was for after we made the album, we then created tempo, click track, backing tracks for when the guys went out and played live, so they could play the show and the extra fancy things all came out. It was nice. But yeah, this is where it gets funky. So I'm going to unmute one of Tom's DIs, and let's just go with rhythm guitar. Let's call it rhythm guitar, and then we'll have 2 tracks in there, rhythm 1 and rhythm 2. And luckily for me, I've got everything here on different setups, so I'm just going to switch to the camera for a minute and make sure that the Road King is plugged in properly, and turn that on. Whee. And it is not. Oh, it's warm back here. Right. So, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to sound, because it wasn't quite set right before the stream. But that's not important. Let's get these all soloed up so we can hear it. And this particular track, we're just going to loop it for a little bit till we get the tone we like. Make sure the DI is dead center, full volume. If it comes out of the master, we'll hear a plinky plonky guitar, which is way too loud. Sorry about that. But if I alt and click on the send, that'll take it out of the master, so we're not going to hear it. And then I can send it out of an audio hardware output, and I think I've got it plugged into 4. No, I'm just plug this. Oh, no, I just plug the cable into the front of the amp. Always a good start. Always a good start when you plug to the front of the amp. Doodle-doodle-doo. Right, I can hear it going over there. Nice. So what I'm going to do now is I'm on channel 3 of the Road King on the modern voicing. I'm going to switch headphones just because I don't have a headphone extension for these. But it also means I get to use the Hi-X 55s from Austrian Audio, which are very brutally honest in the mids. And I can go over there and I can tweak the sound of this on loop for a few seconds and make sure that the right boost is on with it. I think I've got it. I've got a sound where I've backed off the presence a little bit on the amp, and the mids are at 12 o'clock, trebles at just 7, bass is a little higher than normal. The jive from Jupiter Effects is the drive that I think I ended up going with. Yeah, so let's see how this sounds in the mix, and I'll hit record as we go. Not loud enough yet. There we go. Chris asks, is that a reamp signal low or is it shrunk? It is low. I specifically now try and record the microphones or the cab M in this case at around minus 15 dB now. And did you notice that with the faders all the way up, it didn't sound too quiet? Not by much anyway, and I brought everything else down to match. Ah. It sounds like it should. It looks like it should be higher because we're always told, oh, make sure you get maximum level, but no, that's not the case. What you should be finding is that your peaky transient instruments like kicks and snares have loads of headroom, and your really kind of white noise solid stuff should be somewhere between minus 18 and minus maybe 14. So I'm going to bring this one in now. Was that analog 2? Yeah. So let's change DIs from that one to this one. And boy, there's going to be a lot of editing needs doing by the time I'm finished with these. But yeah, centered, DI level is right. There we go. Yeah, we're still set. The Road King is still on. So this is going to sound slightly out of time because of the latency from the interface. But this is now with the guitars in stereo. Let's go. Okay, sounding good. Oh, hear all that hissing and background noise. We're gonna have to edit that within an inch of our lives. Now, let's get the solo guitar done probably on the same amp. Wait. So that's in guitar group. I'm gonna give the solo guitar its own group, just in case. And I'm keeping all the DIs so that I can use them later as triggers for gates, which means that should save me a lot of time as well. Let's just have a listen to it. That's probably going to need quite a bit less gain. Maybe. I can always do it with more. So let's send this out of hardware output, the one that's going to the reamp box, have the other track coming in from the cab in. I don't think I was nearly as particular about cleaning up my edits at that time. But yeah, let's just record these couple of little bits here. Yeah, that's gonna need some kind of a boost. You think that sounds great? There's 2 more guitars to go in. Yeah, I've not even fired up the Marshall. Cool. Well, that's recorded in, which means I can now turn off the 150 watt power consuming monster. And let's just call these leads and move Kyle's DIs up. So I've got lead 1 and lead 2. And this is going to be a very different tone. So let's just swap over amps. Completely. Make sure that's off. And let's see how this sounds, because this is not a dual rectifier. This is an old Marshall, but it's a modded Marshall. It's got an extra gain stage that I've actually not got pushed particularly hard because this amp gets noisy. But let's get this one analog 2 and unmute the Kyle, and let's see how this sounds just on its own for a minute. Oh, no thank you. Ouch. Oh yeah. Helps when you plug your lead into the front of the amp. Boom. Hello, Ernie. No need to shout with capitals. It's always considered rude when you type with all capitals, so maybe don't do that. And Reaper is not free. but Reaper is not particularly expensive either. Oh, yes. That is absolutely biting. So I'm just going to switch back to these Austrian audio headphones for a minute. And what I'm going to do is just play a bit of this on loop. And I'm going to just kind of tune the sound a little bit. Whoa. Yeah, it is a bit Know Your Enemy by Green Day. It's a classic late 70s Marshall. That's what they sound like. They just do. Ernie, my computer is broken. I'm very sorry. Okay, but no, typing in capitals has nothing to do with whether your computer is broken or not. You can type on any device in the world by pressing Shift or Caps Lock. There you go. You can hear some noise on there, but I'm hoping that the contrast between this channel and the really gainy Mesa will provide a really nice kind of balance. Hopefully this will reset itself timing wise. Oh, that vintage Marshall sounds good. It's too attacky on its own, but blended in with the Mesa, we are good. And hello to John from the Reaper blog in chat. Hope you are doing well on this rather warm day. Yeah, someone in chat said it is rather warm. 2 amps doesn't make it too bad in here. If I had all 4 on, I would be really, really sweating. I would be in trouble. But I kind of get away with it. So it's not too bad because it's not 30 degrees here. It's more like 24. So now I turn off that guitar, turn on the other one, and you can hear the chick, chick, chick. That is kind of mains hum noise that's getting through the gates. But there we go. You were supposed to play the noise. I was muted. Last 3 notes there was super flat, so I'm going to use the properties and adjust the pitch up by about 0.4. We'll see later after the reamp whether that was right. Go, and as soon as that's done, timing wise, the blanc, yeah, I'll definitely fade the song out before that. The timing of the track should now snap into place. what are those colors on the signal? That is spectral peaks. That's something you can enable in the view under peaks display settings, and that represents what the dominant frequency is in a certain space, which is really useful for looking at complex waveforms and being able to see things like sibilants, pops, things that shouldn't be there, like kind of microphone bumps at super low frequency. When you can see them, it cuts your editing time right down. So yes. So yeah, there we go. Those four are done. I'm going to turn Marshall off because otherwise I'm going to sweat half to death. Oh boy. And so, I mean, this first stream tonight, partly with it being quite warm, this is partly me just getting source tones for the album and seeing what I can get that I'm happy with. I've not even done anything with the toms yet, for example, because I need to get more out the toms, and that's not there yet. Not even looked at the vocals, so let's mute the two of the vocals, get rid of the old track called ADT, get rid of the vocal group track because I must have stopped using that years ago, and just strip all the old Waves plugins off the vocals because I just don't use them anymore. Bye bye. Now let's start with vocal 1. Make sure that's coming out the parent. There we go.
You think we're friends? Guess again.
Right, so I've got a mono delay, which can be replaced with Echo Boy, because I always use Echo Boy for everything.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'll be on the outside. You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'll be on the outside of you.
That's much nicer. What am I drinking? It's too warm, mate. I'm drinking orange squash. I'm on a new diet at the moment anyway, where it's all just salad, meat, protein, bran, fiber, no wheat, no sugar wherever possible, no heavy carbs, and I actually feel a lot better recently, so there's that.
You think we're friends? Guess again.
That's so nice. There we go. I don't want too much of that. I don't want to saturate this thing in delay.
You think we're friends?
But let's just... I used to use Altiverb for the plate, but I got, today, Skybox from JST. So let's try that for our reverb on the vocals. Listen to this.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'll be on the outside of you. You'll be on the inside of me.
There we go. Now let's start working on the vocal, because the first thing that I used to do, we'll come back to that plate in a minute. I'll mute that while we work. Is that I used to be really bad at trying to lift loads of brightness out of a vocal, because my thing was I was trying to get to sound more modern. More modern means super compressed and super bright. Altered says, do I use JS plugins? Very rarely, but when I do, I mean, they're there. I just find that I have better stuff to use. Eric, you're right, dude. Everybody's jumping in tonight. Yeah. Hi, everybody. So yeah, now to get a vocal to cut through, I'm going for a far more mid-rich kind of thing. And so a little trick that I found is this was recorded, this album, with a relatively cheap Chinese condenser. I mean, this was 8 years ago when you couldn't get things like, Aston Origins and, some of the really nice microphones we can get at reasonable price points now just weren't out. So I'm going to pretend it's a Slate ML1 and saturate it a bit with Blackbird Studio and the London preamp here. And
you think think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'm on the inside of you.
That's the first thing I want to do, because hopefully that should take off a bit of sibilance. And then I'm going to slam this with FG stress.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'm on the outside of you. You're me on the inside of me.
There we go.
Before you know.
So it sounds a little bit stuffy and a bit kind of woolly. So let's get the Neve EQ out.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down.
Let's really cut the low end out.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down.
This was not done with an ML1. This was before the ML1 existed. This was 2013. But what I'm doing is, this is a little hack using the ML1's processing to get some of that quality in there.
You think we're friends? Guess again.
There we go.
I'll be down. I'm me on the outside of you. You're me on the inside of me.
There we go. So let's try that with the delay in the plate. I've not even kind of worked on this yet.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'm me on the outside of you. You're me on the inside of me. Before you know, clocks will turn. I'll be down and you'll say I will.
So this is going to need distortion to make it really sit. But then what I'm going to do is use a de-esser to make sure it doesn't get crazy. So let's just push decapitator on this. Make sure it's cut at the bottom.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'm me on the outside of you. You're me on the inside of me. Before you know, clocks will turn. I'll be down and you'll say I will be free. Yeah, I said that I will be free.
Yeah, so that still needs a little something. So I'm going to virtual mix rack to get that LA2A.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'm me on the outside of you. You're me on the inside of me.
It's funny that I can hear that the whole vocal got rushed a little bit. So I'm going to push it back and see what happens.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'm me on.
So those first two lines are now late. So I'm going to push them back.
You think we're friends?
How much is Reaper euro a month? If you're not using it as like a commercial entity, then it's $60. Done. Not per year, not per month, just that's it. Done. They don't do subscriptions. It's relatively affordable.
You think we're friends?
Although what I'm using in Reaper is the expensive stuff. The Slate stuff is $15 a month. The Sound Toys bundle is $500. The stuff from Kazrog's probably about $50. Amplitude 5 Max is about $500. But those are all choices. That the JST Skybox is currently on sale for $30. Echo Boy's part of the Sound Toys bundle I already mentioned. A Superior Drummer is several $100s for what it does, it is the best in the business. So it's those are the kind of tools that you add to your arsenal as you need them.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'm me on the outside of you. You're me on the inside of me. You're me on the inside. You're me on the inside of me. Before you know, clocks will turn. I'll be down and you'll say I will be free. Yeah, I said that I will be free.
That's actually louder than I want it to be now. That's great.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'll be on the inside of you.
But it doesn't have that super squeaky top end, so I'm gonna try FGA, super top, like 20k.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'll be on the inside of you.
But that's brought out a nasty S. But that's where I now have Soothe that I didn't have back in 2013.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'll be on the inside of you. You'll be on the inside of me. Before you know, clocks will turn. I'll be down and you'll say, I will be free. You ever said that I will be free? I can be a savior, savior. I could have been a ship to keep you safe from.
See, that line was rushed as well.
I can be a savior, savior. I could have been a ship to keep you safe from danger.
That solo part is nice, but it's too loud. It's conflicting with the vocals, so that needs EQing to scoop that out. That was always supposed to go to the plate anyway. And the delay. And let's use in Finish Strip, because why not? It's different. I like it. There we go. Got rid of the nasty spike at the top, the fluffy low mids, the unnecessary top, and the rumbly bottom. Because nobody likes a rumbly bottom, apart from people with a humour of a 5-year-old. So, everybody.
I can be a savior, savior. I could have been a ship to keep you safe from danger, danger. But you will never notice me at all. That I will. I can be a savior, savior. I could have been a ship to keep you safe from danger, danger. But you will never notice me at all.
Nice. I've not even gone through making sure the timings are perfect, looking at the tuning of the vocals, timing of the guitars and the bass to the drums. There's 2 more backing vocals to add in as well, so let's look at them now.
Side of you.
Savior, savior, I could have been the shit you see.
Right, well, let's start by just wholesale copying the entire vocal chain over to these and then pan them and see how much that sorts.
I could be a savior, savior. I could have been the ship you see.
Side of you. You'll be on the inside of.
Editing. It's just covered by breaths.
On the outside of you. You'll be on the inside of me.
Mike, can't afford to record. What have I done for low pass on the guitar? So far, I've not done anything. They just sound fine. I am hearing some super low rumble issues there. So it's probably a good shout. I'm glad he said that. I'm just going to take 50 hertz out. 80. There we go. 80 just gets rid of the at the bottom. You don't need to go super low unless there is genuinely a problem. And if there's a problem, it's probably higher up than you thought it was. So you probably need to get in with an EQ rather than filtering it. What country is the band from? They are British. They are from not too far from me, Manchester, England. They were originally signed to our record label back in 2013. And this album, Maisetto's Moving Forward, was released in 2014. And this is me going back 7 years later as a more experienced engineer and going, oh boy, you really done messed up there. So, yeah. Let's have a look at these two vocals. These are backing only.
Inside of you, inside of me.
And they have, for what I want, far too much low end. So I'm going to change these to 200 hertz and just scoop a load out and see if that works.
Inside of you, inside of me.
That does it. And also these would have gone through, as backing vocals, definitely through the eventide, so the micro shift.
Inside of you, inside of me. Inside of you, you're me on the inside of me.
There we go.
Inside of you, you're me on the inside of me.
Sounds like these two that have got Soothe on need a more aggressive cut in the mids because we're getting inside.
Inside of you, you're me on the inside of me. Inside of you, you're me on the inside of me.
Stop it.
Before you know, clocks will turn. I'll be down and you'll say, I will be free. You ever said that I will be free? I can be a savior, savior. I could have been a ship to your sea to keep you safe from danger, danger. But you will never notice me at all.
So do I usually tune backing vocals? Depends on the genre. Very much depends on the genre. All depends on the genre. For this kind of stuff, yes, absolutely, 100% I would. Because in like anything like post all-time low in the pop punk, you are expected to be perfect. So, yes, everything should be properly edited. Like that. And everything should be perfectly in tune because that's what's expected of that particular genre. If it was hardcore punk, I would not, because that's very much against the ethos of that genre. There we go. Making sure my edits are much cleaner. There we go. There's probably going to be a lot of little bits to tidy this up. I'm liking Soothe a lot because I can use it as something far more powerful than just a de-esser. It can catch other problems.
I can be a savior. I can be a savior.
That I Can Be Your needs to go.
I can be a savior, savior.
That's much cleaner. There we go. Vocaline Ultra is great for tuning. I didn't think Vocaline did tuning at all, unless that's a new feature. Because I used to have Vocaline, the old version, and it definitely didn't do tuning. In fact, it barely did anything. It was kind of useless.
We meant to be a family, but competition's the only.
Should do some hardcore punk mixing videos. Get me a punk band that wants their tracks mixing. At the moment, I'm working with what I have, and because of the whole Corona thing, it's kind of limited my scope.
I can be a savior, savior. to keep you safe from danger, danger.
Yeah, that all needs tuning work. This is me just throwing a mix together, having not opened the file in 7 years. But hooray for Reaper, everything's backwards compatible and forward compatible even. The bigger version of vocal line tunes. Okay, but I already have Melodyne 5, so I don't need to double up. Now, everything's in, so let's look at these toms. In fact, let's look at the kit in general. Because now, compared to everything else, the kit sounds a little bit pedestrian. Let's start with that as our to-do. This has all sorts of filters and such. No, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be clever with my toms. I'm going to use Transgressor by Boz. This thing is incredible. If I want less sustain in the mids on my toms, I pick my frequency. In fact, let's just find it. There's the ring. That's what I don't want. Get rid of that. There we go. And more attack. But I can be EQ specific if I want more low end on my attack. And more click. And more low end on the sustain. And maybe I don't want that much removing from the sustain. There we go. That's gone from kind of a pedestrian thong to a more particular hit. Now I'm going to add a bit of output gain to that, so it... Bradley's in chat. You're right, dude. There we go. So that, and let's find some floor toms. So there's one. Looks like there isn't much in the way of floor toms on this particular song, but let's see how that sounds in the mix. Yeah, that might need me to change the drum there. Let me just open Superior, because it's... when I'm editing and I select and delete a fraction of the audio at the same time, how am I doing it? My left hand is on the keyboard like a gamer, and the S for split button is I'll click with my left mouse, split, and then right click a little box and then go to delete. Split, delete, split, delete, split, delete. So my left hand and my right hand are very much in tune. Brainworks have brought Crispy Tuner. Am I going to review it? This is the first time I've heard of it, honestly. I'll check it out. Yeah. Yeah, I'll remove this instrument. And because I think that's more like how Brad had his kit set up at the time. And we'll move all of that. And the G stuff. Move all of that down. And that's to be... Yeah, that's better. I think I might have to cut a little bit of quite a bit actually of low end out of the overheads. That should clean everything right up. Let's have a look at how hard that was hit. It's all fairly human. I'm going to use a kick preset, add a little beater it's called. Oh no. Oh, that's undone my floor toms. Oh no, that's alright because I can just copy the rack toms. I keep pressing the wrong button because I've got a new keyboard and I keep pressing Windows instead of Alt. That's annoying. I'm just gonna put a compressor and an EQ in front of that. That's more like it. Cool. Reset. Reset. There we go. That's got a proper...
Side of me. Before you know, clocks will turn. I'll be down and you'll say, I will be free. Yeah, I said that I will be free. I can be a savior, savior. I could have built a ship to your sea to keep you safe from danger, danger. But you would never.
Yeah, so that's meant to just be flavor. So that needs to sit in a room. Let's get a skybox just right up on this. That sounds about 1,000,000 times bigger, which is a really good start. Let's try it on a different mode though. Let's try blood. That sounds like The Edge. I love it. That's silly. That's probably what I'm after with this thing.
Safe from danger, danger, but you will never notice me at all.
Yeah, next thing to do with this song is automation, which is why I'm making folders and folders and folders. Ah, there we go. So, because there are times when like that, that's a key feature at that point. So if I hit V for volume there, I can... Ooh, that can all just be cut, because that's horrible. And in that gap, that gets louder by however much it needs to. And that's where it comes back to be did it. Oh. I think I accidentally put the solo part through the Marshall. That's weird. That's absolutely not supposed to be that loud there.
Just you know that I'm okay.
Will this be available to rewatch? Yes. I don't get why people take streams down after they've done them. I don't understand it.
I can be a savior, savior. I could have been the ship to your sea. So take away this time today. I can be a savior. Been the ship.
I think the sound of the guitars overall has just a touch too much low mid, and I'm talking a touch. Like there's -1 dB. Let's see how much difference that makes.
So take away this time today. I can be a savior, savior. I could have been the ship to your sea to keep you safe from danger, danger. But you would never notice me at all.
Right. More overheads. That's what I wanted.
You think we're friends? Guess again. You think we're friends? Guess again.
How are we doing, Marty? We're doing well. Let's just clear things up a lot more aggressively than I did in the past. There we go. I think that's it.
You know.
Using any headphone correction? Yes, right now I'm using the new version of SonarWorks, the Sound ID reference. I usually use Slate VSX, but my Slate VSX are broken in the box, John. The headphones snapped, and I'm waiting for Mr. Slate and his company to send me replacements. So in the meantime, until the VSX system comes back, which I really like, then I'm back to the old 650s with said correction, because it does enough for me to get by. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to get these mixes to a level where I'm kind of happy for now. Spend more time focusing on the edits and the process. And then when we get closer and we've got the VSX system, I can then mix check and then think about doing things maybe on the master bus. Because I usually work relatively lightly on the master bus, if at all. Actually, I've not even got my usual go-to on today. Shadow Hills Mastering Class A from Plugin Alliance. Let's see how that affects things. And that's about all I do, and I have it tickling at most. And that's, yeah, so what I hear is hopefully what we get. Yeah, I need to take some of those toms out of that overhead. Oh, blimey, they suck. That's better.
You think we're friends? Guess again.
bad. I'm gonna take a little bit of the distortion out of the decapitator on the vocal. In fact, I'm gonna switch it to the Neve and see how that sounds.
So save me a savior, savior. I could have been the ship to your sea to keep you safe from danger, danger. But
That's more like it. It's a bit more Muse Absolution era. And then what I want is to have FG Grey on the vocal bus. Hopefully not doing much, but then when everything kicks in, 4-to-1 auto, just gelling the three vocals together. Marty posted in the SMG group. Welcome, welcome.
so take away this time today.
There we go.
I can be a savior, savior. I could have been the ship to your sea to keep
There we go. Just
take away this time today. I can be a savior, savior. I could have been the ship to your sea to keep you safe from danger, danger. But you would never notice me at all.
sounds great now. Just take the headroom up a little on that. And discrete gain. See if I can take the overall level down a bit, and we'll just listen through what we've got now.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'll be on the inside of you. You'll be on the inside of me. Before you know, clocks will turn. I'll be down and you'll say, I will be free. Yeah, I said that I will be free.
Why does that plate sound so dry if it mixes 100%? Ah.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'll be on the inside of you. You'll be on the inside of me. Before you know, clocks will turn. I'll be down and you'll say, I will be free. Yeah, I said that I will be free.
cymbals.
this time today. Just you know that I'm okay. What you say. I gotta ban the shit till you say.
Yeah, just listen to that little bit again, and I will remind you, those are electric drums.
I gotta ban the shit till you say. So take away this time today. I can be a savior, savior. I could have been the ship till you say, to keep you safe from danger, danger. But you would never notice me at all.
Yeah. Danny's just asked me if I have an original track to do before and after comparison, and I was about to say no, I don't, but I can play. I think I can play Spotify through the stream if I can do that, and I think I can. I'll have to add in desktop audio. Then just bear with me a second. I can play it. Oh, go away. From here. So let's play this and see if you can hear it.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'll be on the inside of you. You'll be on the inside of me. Before you know, clocks will turn. I'll be down and you'll say, I will be free. Yeah, I said that I will be free. I can be a savior, savior. I could have been a shit till you say, to keep you safe from danger, danger. But you would never notice me at all.
Doesn't sound bad, but keep in mind I spent months of my life on that. Months. And this is what I've done in 2 hours, 10 minutes.
You think we're friends? Guess again. I'll be down. I'll be on the inside of you. You'll be on the inside of me.
That's a massive difference.
We're meant to be a family, but competition's the only thing that you see. Now we know who we both should be.
I can hear now that I had EQ'd the guitars so much with several EQ plugins that it had twisted it into a weird radio effect where it just didn't have any guts. And now, same bit.
We're meant to be a family, but competition's the only thing that you see. Now we know who we both should be. And now we know just what to do when all we know has fallen through this way up. Stand my ground and keep my mouth shut. I can be a savior, savior. I could have been a ship to your sea to keep you safe from danger, danger. But you would never notice me at all. So take away this time today. Just you know that I'm okay. What you say? I could have been the ship to your sea. So take away this time today. I can be a savior, savior. I could have been the ship to your sea to keep you safe from danger, danger. But you would never notice me at all.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm happy with what we got so far. So what I think we're going to do is, this is, how many tracks are on this album? 12. So 12 tracks, 12 weeks. I'm going to do this every Monday. Every Monday, 8 p.m. Although, ironically, I don't know if I'll be here next Monday. Which would be typical timing, wouldn't it? But if that's the case, then I might take this with me, get it on my laptop, and then kind of upload the next one rather than it being live, and then it'll be live after that. Because then I can take my time with it, no rush, have a bit of fun, look at all the details, because the detail that I've not gone through today, that I will at some point, is all the timings, all the tunings, making sure that guitarists and bass players and drummers aren't rushing, making sure that singers aren't coming in early. So you can see I've done very little editing here to try and keep it natural, but in truth, if we'd had a lot more time to record the album, I probably would have been a lot more particular with stuff like this and really getting everybody locked in, because it feels better when it's truly locked. So there's probably, a good few months worth of streams there. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody. Hit the like button. Check out our Patreon, because we are supported by you through Patreon. It massively helps. And if there's anything you need to buy that's audio gear, use our affiliate links on Toman, because that helps us out and you get to buy the same stuff and help us too. So thank you everybody, and I'll see you in part 2. If not for the next video release, or for our weekly podcast, which is Thursdays, 8 p.m. UK time. So I'll see you all very soon. Goodbye. Hey everyone, that might be the end of the video, but if you fancy carrying on this conversation, we have a Discord server. Link is in the description. We're also on Patreon, which is something you can really help us with. We also are on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.